Welcome to Facts Time. To get more videos, please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon to get latest notifications.
Hi guys. Today we are going to know about top famous palaces in the world. Let's start the video. Number 10. Mysore Palace. Mysore Palace, also known as a Moblaz Palace, is a place situated in the city of Mysore in southern India. It is the official residence of the water yards near erstwhile royal family of Mysore, and also houses future overhauls ceremonial meeting all of the royal court. Mysore is commonly described as the city of palaces. Mysore in India has a number of historic palaces, of which Mysore Palace is the most famous one. Mysore Palace is now one of the most famous tourist attractions in India after Taj Mahal, with more than 2.7 million visitors visit every day. Number 9. The Pena National Palace. What is interesting about the Pena Palace in Portugal is that it did not start out as a palace. In fact, it was built as a monastery in 1493 in the hills of Sintra, and for a long time it existed peacefully as one king after another took it under their protection. But then, the Lisbon earthquake of 1755 shook the monastery by its roots as it suffered severe damages. As reconstruction work took place, the ruins were transformed into a palace that is quite simply beautiful. The style used for the construction was Romanticism, and perched on quite a height, it can be seen from miles away, especially on clear days. The palace is an exquisite work of art and is today a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 8. Versailles Palace. The Palace of Versailles is a royal chateau in Versailles in the Île-de-France region of France. Versailles was originally a hunting lodge built in 1624 by Louis XIII. When the chateau was built, Versailles was a country village today. However, it is a wealthy suburb of Paris, some 20 kilometers southwest of the French capital. Number 7. Summer Palace. How often have we joked about the lack of space in modern cities? But if you ever happen to chance upon the Summer Palace in Beijing, you will definitely get a new definition of space. It is built over an unbelieving area of 2.9 kilometers. Imagine that. The Summer Palace was built in 1750 as a resting place of the rulers of China, and later on it became their main center. There are over 3,000 man-made ancient structures that can be seen inside the palace. And as a palace that large would definitely have, there are many gardens and places of interest that one can visit. The Royal Garden is one such, and not just the palace, but the natural beauty surrounding it makes it one of the most visited places in China. Number 6. Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace, originally known as Buckingham House, is the official London residence and principal workplace of the British monarchy, located in the City of Westminster. The palace is a setting for state occasions and royal hospitality. It has been a focus for the British people at times of national rejoicing and crisis. Number 5. Palazzo Pitti. If you have heard of the name Medicis, you probably know that they were basically the ones through whose hands all money flowed in Florence. So, if they decided to take up residence somewhere, it was bound to be opulent, right? The Palazzo Pitti was once home to the Dukes of Tuscany and the King of Italy before the Medicis took up residence here. It is located across the Arno from the main sites of Florence, and there are splendid examples of Renaissance art here. Today, the Palazzo Pitti is home to a number of museums like Museo degli Argenti, Museo del Porcelain, and others. Some of the most magnificent examples of the work of Raphael and Titian can be found here. Not to mention the splendid Boboli Gardens, which is a sight in itself. Number 4. Addala Palace. Addala Palace. The Puddle of Palace is located in Lhasa, Tibet. Autonomous Region, China, situated on Marcory Hill 130 meters above the last valley. The Puddle of Palace rises a further 170 meters and is the greatest monumental structure in all of Tibet. Although a palace was already built here in the 7th century, the construction of the present palace began in 1645 during the reign of the 5th Dalai Lama, and by 1648 upon Rangkarbod or White Palace was completed. The font Rang Marvo, for Red Palace, was added between 1690 and 1690. For the Funnel of Palace remained the residence of the Dalai Lama, until the 14th Dalai Lama fled to India, after the Chinese invasion in 1959. Number 3. Windsor Castle. When it comes to castles, you usually think of them as abandoned places which have more often than not been turned into a museum. Not so for the Windsor Castle, though, as it is the largest inhabited castle in the world. The royal family have been living here since the Middle Ages. The construction of the Windsor Castle began in 1070 AD, and it has grown and developed over the years under the many rulers of Britain. There is a very well-maintained garden outside the castle, which actually makes the castle appear very grand. Number 2. Alhambra Palace. Alhambra is a palace and fortress complex located in Granada, Andalusia. It was originally constructed as a fortress in 889, and was converted into a royal palace in 1333 by Yusuf I Sultan of Granada. The Alhambra Islamic palaces were built for the last Muslim emirs in Spain, and its court of the Nasrid dynasty after the reconquest by the Reyes Católicos in 1492. Some portions were used by the Christian rulers. The Alhambra is now one of Spain's major tourist attractions, and many visitors come to Granada just to see the Alhambra. Number 1. Hawa Mahal, Jaipur. Hawa Mahal, Jaipur. We all know that patriarchy existed almost everywhere in the world, especially in the royal households. Which is why whenever we come across some example of men being thoughtful towards women, it makes the world look like a much better place. And one such example is the Hawa Mahal in Jaipur, India. Apparently, it was constructed in 1799 in such a way as to allow fresh air to come inside for the benefit of the women of the royal family. They could also observe the activities on the streets below thanks to the architecture. Another amazing thing about the palace is that it is pink in color, and is said to resemble the crown of Krishna, one of the major gods in India. Each floor has overhanging windows with intricate lattices, and the servants used to throw water on it to cool the air. The entire facade of the Hawa Mahal is pretty intriguing, and one can spend a long time staring at this fascinating building. Hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great